The benevolent and just Womp King proclaims a royal decree. His loyal servant, who's been trapped in a horrible chance cube, must be returned to him at all costs. And as desperate times call for desperate measures, and his throne is at the very bottom of the fortress, upside down, he turns to his greatest nemesis for help, Mario. The plan is simple. Somehow, some way, Mario needs to get the Goomba from the chance cube here to the very top of the fortress and drop him down the tunnel to the Womp King's throne. And if Mario isn't successful in his quest, the good king may not be so good to him. But are the king's orders even possible to carry out? Has Mario been set up for utter failure? Probably best not to think about that for now. Need to mention this is focused on the first star of Throwback Galaxy. Even though the second mission has cloud flowers which make this a breeze, the Womp King is gone, and so is the chance cube. So, Mario lands at the foot of the fortress in Mission 1. The chance cube is just ahead, so Mario goes and tries to free the trapped Goomba from its prison, and he doesn't get the Goomba. And for his failure, Mario's thrown into the abyss. In another life, all Mario has to do is just get lucky, and as luck would have it, he gets just that. The Goomba is finally free, so now it's just a matter of scaling the entire rest of the fortress. Shouldn't be a problem, right? When the Goomba finally comes to and realizes the situation, he chases after Mario, with no malicious intent whatsoever. So Mario leads him up the ramp, past the bump, and we get to this tricky situation. These tiles slide in and out periodically. With the wrong timing, the Goomba could be sentenced to the same fate as Mario was. So we need to have the Goomba only notice us right as the tiles start to extend out. And just like that, it's over. But here comes the first real challenge. Usually we'd have to climb up these steps, but each step is way too high to get this Goomba over it. All we have to work with is a slope, but because this is Galaxy 2, we're severely limited in how we can traverse it. In Galaxy 1, we have the slope scale glitch, where you hold away from the slope, jump, and spin, which would make this a piece of cake. And in Mario 64, we could literally just hold jump and mash attack to kick climb all the way up. But here, we basically have no way to get up the slope. So in a fit of rage, Mario whacks the Goomba, sending it up the slope. And when it gets back up from its haze, it doesn't slide down thanks to its fancy grippy Goomba socks. That must be the answer. If we can keep whacking up the Goomba, making sure to not whack off the Goomba, we have to get there eventually. Goombas can shrug off one hit at a time, so it should be perfectly fine by the end of this. Well, kind of. Eventually we reach a point where we can't go any higher without sliding down. So, after all that whacking, we just have to finish the deal by baiting the Goomba. And after a little bit of finessing it, the strategy works perfectly. And finally, we get a little bit of a breather. Going past the piranha is no problem at all. But then, onto the spinning bridge. Even though this looks intimidating, crossing it just requires some precision. If we trigger the Goomba at the wrong time, he does a little hop, jumping off the bridge to almost certain death. As long as we time everything correctly though, he follows us safely across. Amazing. And after doing just a little gardening, we have only one more obstacle left. But this is the worst obstacle by far. Everything up to this point took mere minutes to figure out. But this is where things get real, where push comes to shove, and where plumbers become men. What Mario sees before him is a horrifying, even terrifying contraption that exists for the sole purpose of keeping Goombas away from the fortress's peak. This is the only possible shot we have at getting the Goomba to its destination, but it's no good. The two elevator platforms go around in cycles along their path, both of which, even at their highest, don't quite pass the threshold for a Goomba or a plumber to step onto the roof. So what to do? We at least know we need to find a way to get the Goomba onto the elevator. As each platform gets to the bottom of the path, it rotates 180 degrees and does a sort of scooping motion. But when Mario tries to lead his Goomba friend to the elevator, no such scooping happens. That's because he forgot about his friend's fancy grippy socks. So by heading it directly towards the rotating platform, the Goomba's grippy Goomba socks grip. And just like that, he's on the platform. But before he can celebrate, the platform's already flipped, and all his progress is erased. Whatever he does on the elevator platform is extremely time sensitive, so he needs to move fast. But hold on, I'll let you in on a spoiler. What I said before is true. The platforms, even at their highest rotation, don't quite reach the lip of the fortress's roof. Even if the Goomba were positioned perfectly on that ridge at the perfect moment, there doesn't seem to be anything Mario can do to get it over. No spinning, no kicking, no little Goomba hop. I tried experimenting with iframes and spin canceling. I searched the map for anything that could possibly help us. And then it hit me. The idea was desperate, but it was all I had. Maybe, just maybe, we could use the Womp on top of the fortress and have him slam down at just the right time. Then, as the elevator moves up, and might push the Goomba into the thwomp's side, and if we're lucky, the Goomba just might clip up to the top. It was so difficult to get all these conditions right, and after dozens and dozens of attempts and getting exactly the conditions I was looking for, I realized it was all for nothing. Frustrated and having wasted hours of my life mashing a Goomba, an elevator platform, and a thwomp together, I took to Discord to complain to a friend. And this is the conversation that unfolded. And just for a moment there was hope. Maybe Mario couldn't get the Goomba over the rim, but a well-aimed shot from a Starbit cannon might do the trick. In order for this to work though, we needed the Goomba in just the right spot. And as we learned before, the elevator moves too quick to reliably position the Goomba. So once we get the Goomba on the elevator and it rises up, we let it move out of sight. And because Mario doesn't have object permanence, when the elevator goes down, no Goomba comes along with it. The Goomba is unloaded, waiting for the camera to show the spot where it was. This gives us all the time we need to prepare ourselves. So then, with a perfectly spaced backflip, making sure to not step on the Goomba and to not fall off, Mario lands on the very edge of the elevator, crouching immediately so as to shrink his hurt box out of the Goomba's reach. This was the moment of truth. Will the Starbits be enough? And if this doesn't work, nothing will. And that was it. The Goomba was to the top of the fortress, accomplishing something no other non-winged Goomba had before. And Mario, nearly free of the Womp King's tyrannical demands, had just one more thing to do. Kill the fake-out Womp with a simple ground pound to open the passage, and then triumphantly knock the Goomba in. And with that, our challenge comes to a close. Today we did something I think is pretty cool. Maybe something that nobody else has ever done before. Before ending off, I did want to show what happens to the Goomba afterwards. Basically, the inverse gravity field underneath the map only works for Mario and the Womp King, so this Goomba basically falls into space and dies.